everyone, my name is Samantha Jameson. I am the Program Director of 4-H Youth Enrichment and Ag Education for Iowa State University Extension and Outreach in Louisa County. Today I'm going to be giving you guys an update on our chicks from our chick hatching unit that we had. Our chicks are about 2 months old, and today we are going to talk about combs, wattles, breeds, and the difference between hens and roosters. First, we're going to show you guys a 10-year-old hen that we have. We have her named Whitey. And my dad, who is the cameraman, has got a hold of her. So she is our fully adult chicken. And you can see she's got a very large comb, which is the red part on the very top of her head. She's got very large wattles, which are the flappy looking red parts underneath her beak. And then her earlobe is actually the white skin that is right beside her eye. The difference between chickens and their different breeds, many of you guys have seen that there are different colors of eggs that chickens can lay. White, brown, blue, green. Chickens with white lobes will lay white eggs. And chickens with red earlobes will lay the brown or the green or the blue colored eggs. So when we start talking about breeds here in a moment, she is the only chicken that we have that has white earlobes, and we'll talk about her breed here in a moment. We'll go ahead and let her down because she is an old girl that does not like to be held. All right. So, we have 33 chicks that are 2 months old. Since you guys have been with us last, you have seen them inside their brooding cage. And what my cameraman is showing you now is the door to outside of our chicken coop. Since we gave you a last update, we slowly acclimated them to being in complete area of our coop, and then here in the last 2 weeks we have let them outside. We have fencing around the coop, which will keep predators out and keep the chicks in. The chicks love to come outside. They like to forage for any greenery that has been growing in our coop, but they really like to try and catch some bugs. And those bugs are yummy treats when they do manage to get them. Again, these chicks are about 2 months old. Alright, so if we go back inside, we will talk about our different types of chickens that you can see. So these all yellow ones, right here, and then there's ones that have larger combs and wattles. The all yellow ones are called Orpingtons, and with their yellow color it's called a buff Orpington. So those are the all yellow chicks that are found throughout the coop and that were outside. This black one that just jumped up is an Americana. The two multicolored ones, the black and white one and the bluish brown one, and the one that just jumped up on top of the shelf, those are also Americanas. Those are different kinds of varieties. So you have, if we do a little bit of biology, first you have species. So that would be the difference between your humans, your cows, and your chickens. Then within those species, you have different breeds. So in our chickens, we have our buff Orpingtons, we have our Americanas, and then those black and yellow ones, those are called Brahmas. And they are yellow as well, so they're buff Brahmas. And if we have one that would show us their feet, if you remember, we had a couple that had some feathered feet. And those are those Brahmas. So they've got feathers all along their feet. It's kind of hard to see, but they're on there. And then this one right here, you guys may remember her from last time. Her name is Magnolia. She is also an Orpington. She is a lavender Orpington. And she was very well trained by her previous owners to sit up on shoulders. If you can tell, her beak looks a little weird. So she's got what's known as a scissors beak, sorry. And it just crisscrosses. She'll be fine. She just has to eat and drink when things are raised a little. So most chickens will eat by scooping the food into the mouth with the bottom beak. And for her, she just kind of puts her mouth to the food and water and just drains it back into her throat instead of scooping. So what we do in order to make sure she can still eat and drink is that we just raise our food and water a couple inches and we let them hang here, as you can see. And our water is up a couple inches so it's not down. All right, Magnolia. So we were talking about combs and wattles. We pointed them out on our 10-year-old hen. So if you look at these 2-month-old chicks, they have much smaller combs and you can barely see the wattles on most of them. We do have a couple birds like this one right here, who has a much larger comb and wattle. This is most likely going to be a rooster. A rooster is a male chicken, and a female chicken is called a hen. Some of the combs are different shapes. So we have our most common comb on our Orpingtons that we have. But then on our Americanas, you can tell that those are a little bit different in shape. They're not quite as tall. They stay a little bit thicker. What combs and wattles do is very unique to chickens. So chickens cannot sweat. They're not like humans, and the combs and wattles will help keep them cool. They'll be able to circulate their blood. In other words, they're able to move their blood throughout their body, and they use their comb and their wattles in order to move that blood. And because it's not in the rest of their body, it helps cool them down. Very cool, huh? So as we watch our chicks, there's some behavioral traits that you guys might notice. When they get into their food dish over there, they like to use their feet to scratch at it. Chickens are known for scratching their food. When they're over in areas where it might not be 100% feed, or if they're outdoors, they'll sit there and they'll scratch at the ground to try and find those bugs or the greenery. And then they'll even transfer that to where they have plenty of food into buckets that are completely food. Other behaviors are perching. We don't have any chicks that are currently perching, but when we come in at night, you will see about 20 birds sitting on this thin piece of board, sitting up here on this round area, and sitting wherever it is that they can get up high. Perching is something that chickens like to do because they're away from predators. So any cats or raccoons, they'll get up high in order to avoid predators. It's a natural instinct, which means that they aren't taught to do this. It's just something that they do. So they like to scratch at the ground, they like to perch, and then they also like to take dust baths. So us humans, we like to take our baths using water. Chickens aren't huge fans of water baths, so they'll take a dust bath. If you look on our ground carefully, you'll see areas where there's kind of circle imprints. Back here, there's a couple different circle areas. And they haven't started doing it outside, but that's when they would probably do it the most. But when chickens take dust baths, they use their wings and their feet to kick up the dirt and kick up the dust, and then they'll sit there and they'll just kind of shake their bodies. And what they're doing is trying to get bugs, especially gnats, away from their body. Gnats are very dangerous to chickens. We have a fan that goes on 24/7 to help keep the gnats away. We also use, many poultry farmers will use various sprays in order to keep gnats away. Vanilla is a very common thing to spray the birds with because it is natural. It will not hurt the birds, but it'll keep the gnats away because they don't like gnats. For those of you guys that live around the Columbus Junction area, Simply Soothing makes a vanilla flavored bug spray, and that is something that we personally use around our coop. Mouthwash, vanilla flavored mouthwash also works on keeping those gnats away. There's also many other products that you don't spray on the chickens, but you'll spray around your coops in order to keep those gnats away. Gnats will attack birds. They will draw blood similar to mosquitoes. So gnats will go in groups and attack different birds. And they will also go up into the nostril of chickens, which are small, and I will not be able to show you guys, but it's right where you guys think it would be, right on the top of their beak. So it's not on the bottom where ours is on our nose, it would be on the top of the beak. And the chickens are not able to sneeze. So when the gnats go up into their nostrils, they can't sneeze them out, so they'll actually suffocate from gnats. So we've talked about combs and wattles and what they're used for. We talked about different breeds, including what are some of the breeds that we have here are. We talked briefly about the difference between roosters and hens. And then we talked about the different ways that chicks will act. These chicks, again, 2 months old. So as they get older, they'll start to develop their systems that will allow them to lay eggs. Our roosters in our groups will begin to start crowing here soon. We are actually surprised they haven't started crowing yet, but they're right at that age of when they should. Our chicks are very curious, so you saw them peck at my hand earlier. You might see them come up to the camera. They're just very curious animals. And with that, thank you guys for tuning in. And we might give you guys another update when they are old enough to start laying eggs. Bye.